everyone. In today's video, we are embarking on a journey to harness the power of cloud with Microsoft Azure. We will guide you through a seamless migration from your on-premises MySQL database to Azure MySQL, where your data becomes more accessible, scalable, and secure than ever before. So here is our today's agenda. So we'll first look at the overview of the migration of on-premise MySQL database to Azure database for MySQL, and we will look into the challenges of why we had to take this decision. What were the challenges with the existing on-prem MySQL, the significance and the objectives of this migration. And then we have different phases of this migration, like pre-migration assessment, planning, selecting the migration method, data migration readiness, and then the actual migration and validation. Once we have migrated the database, we will look into the benefits and the next steps, what we have for you. So I am Sanobar Khalifullah Khan. I am a cloud practice leader supporting my CEO to revolutionize global digital adoption, providing cloud agnostic solutions. I have diverse industry experience in developing solutions on cloud platform. I offer solutions to clients across the globe in domains like banking and financial services, micro market clients, large IT clients, government services, and food delivery clients as well. So I have Divya here with me. Divya, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, Sanobar. Hello, everyone. I'm Divya, DevOps engineer with a strong passion for accepting challenging opportunities and expertise in scripting, automation, and Azure administration.
Thank you, Divya. So, this project delves into a pivotal migration that successfully transitioned on premises MySQL database to Azure database for MySQL. So, your on premise server or your on premises MySQL database might have served you well, but it's time to embrace the future of data management. So, let's get started with the migration process. So, this project showcases a seamless and strategic migration to Azure database for MySQL. And we also had three mission critical applications which were dependent on this database. So the comprehensive process, it involved meticulous planning, execution, and post migration activities. So we faced a few challenges with the existing on-prem MySQL DB, and the decision to migrate from on-premise infrastructure to a cloud-based solution was closely aligned with the organization's broader digital transformation strategy. And here are the few challenges that the on-premises MySQL database had. Like data security and compliance was a challenge, downtime minimization, data consistency, application compatibility, performance optimization, workload resource requirements, continuous availability, and of course, cost management was also a challenge. And for this reason, we decided to migrate the on-premises MySQL database to Azure database for MySQL. So let's look into the migration steps. So this project outlines the stages of migration, being pre-migration assessment, planning, and post-migration continuity. The first step in our migration journey is pre-migration assessment. First, let's lay the foundation for a successful migration. And for that, we need to ensure we have an active Azure subscription and a clear understanding of our on-premises database structure. So, as part of the objective of this step, we need to ensure readiness for migration and minimize the potential issues. The results of this step would be we need to confirm that the target workload, which is nothing but the Azure database for MySQL, runs successfully on Azure. And we will also verify that the necessary networking components are in place for migration. So I have Divya here who can closely demonstrate the pre assessment migration step.
The pre-migration steps. First, we need to have an on-prem machine. This is our on-prem machine. So we are having an application, Moodle application that is running on on-prem MySQL server, and this is the Moodle application which is running on on-prem MySQL. So as a pre-migration step, we need to have an Moodle MySQL server, Azure MySQL. So I have created already. So this is our Azure database for MySQL server. So we need to check the connection first. So I have connected my on-prem machine. So now we are checking for an on-prem connection, on-prem MySQL connection. We are connecting using an user root. Has been connected successfully. Let's look into our next steps.
The next step in our migration journey is migration planning. The objective of this step is to plan and prepare the Azure environment for the migration. And the result of this step is a well prepared Azure environment for the migration with validated network setup with secure and efficient data transfer. This also ensures a defined SSL strategy to secure data transfer. Divya will now closely explain the planning of this migration.
We are going to dump the database. So first, this is our command, MySQL dump user root, and we are going to dump the database Moodle into an moodle.sql file. So I'm entering my password. It will take few minutes. Okay. It has been dumped into an moodle.sql file. So now we are going to import the dumped database into an MySQL server. This is our Moodle server. So we are going to import our database with no data into this.
Azure SQL.
Yeah. So for that, we having a command. This is our command MySQL and our server name using my username and my dumped file. So I need to enter my password. It will take few minutes. We'll wait for a few minutes. Okay, it has been completed. We are done with the planning. We are moving to our migration methods.
Selecting the migration method is the next step. So, based on the type of the workload, whether it is a smaller workload or a larger workload, there are multiple methods to migrate the database from on prem to Azure Cloud. Now, based on the target workload or the type of workload, we need to choose the appropriate data migration method. A selection of the most suitable data migration depends on the organization needs and it should also align with the business requirements. So, here we have chosen Azure Data Migration Service as a tool to migrate our database from on prem to Azure. So before we migrate, we need to ensure the readiness of the data. We need to ensure that the environment is ready for data migration. As a result of the data migration readiness, we will evaluate the environment's readiness for online migration. We would also configure the source and target parameters for efficient data migration. Once it's done, we will start the migration. As I told you, for smaller workloads, we can use MySQL Workbench to migrate the data from on-prem to Azure database from MySQL. However, for larger workloads, it's preferable to use Azure Data Migration Service, and this DMS service is also suitable for production workloads. DMS makes the migration process a breeze. We just have to configure the source and target connections, select the migration type, and monitor progress all in one place. So let's look into the demonstration of the same.
The DMS tool we are using. So here we can see that the service is started. So it's now we can able to start our new migration project. So I will demonstrate how the new activity can be created.
In the DMS tool, we first need to create the source and the target connection endpoints, and then we need to choose the method, that is, whether the migration should be online or offline. So once done, we can map, initiate, and monitor the data migration. We have to click on the Start Migration button available in the DMS tool, and then we can monitor the data migration. So this demonstration will now be explained by Divya.
We are now going to create a new activity. So we are in DMS service. So we need to click new activity and we need to choose online data migration. So, and wizard online migration wizard have been opened. And here it is automatically taking our source name and we can fill it also. So I'm entering my password. It will validate the connection in the step. So we'll next choose our target. So our source have been successfully connected. So next we need to choose the target and select our target Moodle server. This is our resource group and we need to choose our subscription region. And this is my Moodle server which has been created before. So now I'm entering my password. Hitting next. Now we need to select the databases. So we have already imported the Moodle database to this Azure database for MySQL by using the commands I have shown before. So now we need to choose that database and next we need to select the tables. It has 426 tables without data. So we have an option here, migrate schema. We need to enable that migrate schema checkbox for large databases. So I have large database table in next page. Yeah. These are my large database. So I am enabling that migrate schema option and giving configure migration setting. Next I'm selecting my summary. Now it's ready for starting the migration. We need to give the activity's name. Now we need to start our migration by clicking the start migration process. The
So that's
migration.
awesome, and we have just started the migration from on-prem MySQL to Azure database for MySQL. As you can see, data is flowing securely from our on-prem server to Azure without disrupting our ongoing operations, which means the existing on-prem application is still running fine without any interruptions. So I think this will take a while to get the data transferred. So let's come back and see the results. So this is the migration result page, and on this page we could see that the migration has encountered a few errors. However, if we look down, the status shows that the migration is complete and 7.1 GB of data has been migrated, and the time taken is shown as 42 minutes. But let's look into the error details. So if we click on the error details, we get another widget that displays that a connection attempt failed, which clearly means that this is a network error. So to mitigate this network error, we must try to we must retry the migration. So can we retry the migration by clicking on the retry button here? And we need to give a new activity name. This time we are giving the activity name as demo MySQL migration. And let's click on the apply button. So this migration is completely starting again. So let's wait for some time and let's come back again to see the results. Congratulations, our MySQL database now resides in the Azure cloud, opening doors to enhanced performance, scalability, and disaster recovery options.
You can see here our database migration has been completed, and we can see all the tables has been completely migrated. So here we can see the time taken by each tables. So every table has been completely migrated. Now we can close this wizard and we can see the completed status here. Now we need to start the cutover. Uh, this will this will stop all the incoming transactions in the source database, and it will terminate the communication between the local MySQL and Azure MySQL. So we'll click the confirm button and click apply. It will take few seconds, then it will cut over the program. We can see here the cutover progress has been completed successfully. We can close this wizard. We are going to change our host name and run the application. So here is our Moodle server. This is our server name. We are copying the server name and we are going to our on-prem machine and we are going to open our config.php file. Not responding, so we'll again connect the machine. Yeah. Now this is a command to open our config file. The config file has been opened and we need to change the DB host name. Here it's localhost, so we need to paste our copied host name. We need to save it. Yeah, I have saved that and I need to restart the Apache. So this is command. I'm going to restart our Apache. Okay, it has been restarted successfully. So now we are going to load our application. So this is our domain name. I'm loading my application. Okay, now our application is successfully loading by using the migrated database. Sanabar will explain the advantages.
Thanks, Divya. This is really awesome. So as you can see, by migrating our MySQL database to Azure, we have now embraced a world of opportunities. The future of our data management is now secure and agile.
So this is our domain name.
So let's look into the advantages of Azure database for MySQL. So the Azure database for MySQL is highly scalable and highly available. It has enhanced security. Of course, we can save a lot of costs such as the operational cost, maintenance cost, and it has increased operational efficiency together with innovation and flexibility. So to conclude, we have now successfully migrated our on-premises MySQL to Azure, which has not only enhanced the database performance and security, but it has also given us a way for future scalability and innovation. So this video, whatever we demonstrated today, is a simple migration of a small database which was of 7 GB. In our upcoming video, we will demonstrate the details of planning and executing the migration of a larger database that can be up to 100 GB and more. We will also equip you with advanced strategies, best practices, and expert insights to ensure a smooth transition for your most complex database environments. So, what are you waiting for? Start your own migration journey to Azure today and experience the cloud's transformative power. Are you ready to make the move? Happy migrating! Thank you all for being with us.